How are you? My name is Francis Fox. I'm a trained remote viewer. I was also trained in interspecies communication by the US government and used in interspecies communication by the US government. So this whole thing is, oh my God, are there ETs exist? They're coming? No, they're here. They've been here. And if they're taking this long to come, it's because they want everybody to get used to it. It is, I'm not sure if I want to hit someone or laugh every time they say, somebody said today, I think it was Dr. Greer, oh, at the rate they're coming, they're not going to get here for who knows how many years, something like that. There is no time and space once you leave the physical planet Earth. There is no measurement. It's all happening at the same time. When you say, oh, it's going to take that many light years to reach there, it's because you don't know. The laws and the rules are different. Very frustrating for people like me. And there's, I think, many of us that were caught up with the intelligence community. I, because I was a victim of mind control since birth, my birth was planned for the program. And then others who already went in as adults or when they were in the military and when they did that little Minnesota psychological test, they were identified as having the kind of mind the intelligence community wants. Somebody bright, quick, somebody that's been in the other dimensions, probably because they were abused, okay? But they're easy to control. So there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't know. And yes, I'm very irritated today. If you'll notice, my left eye is still limping a lot. The Vatican is not just working on me in terms of satanic rituals, it's working on my entire group because I was just with them a few minutes ago and I didn't bring up the subject. They brought it up that they could see that the Vatican was working with us and with the spirit guides that we were working on, tying them up. I was going to say what else is new. Actually, the whole thing with the Vatican cartel is new, and we did not want to go after them. They were doing satanic rituals on me in a hospital, Catholic hospital in Miami, on the water near Grove Isle. And that's how we ended up in the Vatican. But you notice my haircut? I don't like it. So I was not happy. And then I went ahead and said, okay, so why would I need this problem? But I've been struggling with my haircut, with my bangs for a couple of weeks. Well, this is your forehead, third eye, Vatican. And I wasn't paying enough attention until the hairdresser chopped off my hair to where I look like Robin Hood, I think, which is Robin Hood. Um, so why do I need this problem? In order to remember why I'm struggling with my bangs. Because somebody, an organization, a cartel, the Vatican cartel, is working on my third eye. And this is the third eye. So you want to become a mantrista, you want to become master of your destiny. Every time you have a problem, you can go ahead, I can go ahead and blame the beautician. But I already learned it's not the way to go. But I finally stopped myself and I said, why would I need this? Call attention to my forehead, third eye. So do that every time you have a problem. Meanwhile, we're here for horoscopes. That's what we're going to do. Oh, I have my cannabis book out. And I strongly suggest that if you want to stay in tune with things that you read my book, because nobody else is going to have that information. You'll see when you see it. If you want to be able to see these beings that are coming into the planet and have already been here, cannabis helps because cannabis gently lifts the veils between dimensions. And then if you want to be less anxious about them coming or being here, cannabis will also help with that. But the reason I'm asking you to read the book is because it's going to give you a lot of information that is going to help you, but it's going to also help the planet. So it's on Amazon. You just put in Francis Fox cannabis, and cannabis is spelled with two N's. As too many people said they couldn't find it, but they didn't know that there were two N's in cannabis. Enough of all of that. Very cranky today. We're going on with the horoscopes for the 3rd to the 9th of November, 2025. I'm not an astrologer. I cannot do an astrological chart. I'm not interested in doing one. I'm also not a political consultant, nor am I a medical doctor, nor it's my psychic skills that brings me the information. So if you want astrology, you should go to a regular astrologer and they'll give you different information for what I give. It's a different angle. And what I bring to the table has everything to do with human evolution, not the evolution of your bank account, or whether your girlfriend left you for another person, or whether you should move to another country. That's not the type of information I give. But listen up, and then you'll decide whether you want to come back. Thank you, Alejandrina. It should be on all the Amazons, but you never know because I'm not going to complain because I'm going to end up, we'll find out there's another cartel and I don't want to. All other cartels, I'm not coming after you. I never wanted to do all of this revelations about cartels. I'm going to be poster girl for revelations of having to do with cartels. When we look back 50 years from now, this is not good for me. Okay, we're going to start with Aries, which, if I were traditional astrology, that's what I would start with. So, Aries is a male sign and it is a fire sign of the fire element. That means that Aries, before they incarnated, they decided they wanted to learn to deal with the element of fire, or they needed issues with the element of fire to align with their mission. So, what does Aries need to know this coming week? I see Aries going, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't understand this. And kind of like scratching their head. So, there's new stuff coming in, new information, and you don't get it, but you're not willing to say, I don't get this. I need help on this. You're just scratching your head and going, okay, so I guess if I don't say anything, maybe nobody will understand that I'm not getting it. And I don't think you need to worry, Aries. Why don't you do a mantra? Even though I don't understand, I love and accept myself. And just soothe yourself because I suspect what you're not getting is something that most people are not getting. Maybe it has to do with that spaceship that's headed towards here. But whatever it is, be okay with it. Just let it float and do the mantra so that you can lower your anxiety. You do not have to be in total control, especially in end times with what's going on the planet in terms of us integrating, becoming part of the galactic family. Man, am I sick of that? Would that darn spaceship please arrive and let the US government, let them park in Nebraska and don't have a military welcoming committee because you just set a tone that's not good. Okay, next sign is a Taurus. Taurus is a female sign, and it is a sign having to do with the earth element. So Tauruses can end up being stuck and take forever to make a decision. And once they make it, they stay stuck, examining that decision to make sure it's the best one. And then when they decide to move ahead and go through with the decision, then they wonder if they shouldn't have decided the opposite. That's too much earth, not really wanting the responsibility of moving and making choices and changes. But how is Taurus this week? Jittery, jittery, just jittery. Too much going on. The news about what's going on outer space is it like in the back of the mind, but is still there for Taurus. Taurus is very much about security. And so something that big would have responsible people and people in charge of security would have them feeling uncomfortable. Taurus is feeling uncomfortable. And to the point of actual movement of the body, jitteriness. There is a homeopathic remedy that is used. It's the number one worldwide having to do with sports injuries, but it is actually for trauma and it's called Traumeel, Traumeel, and it comes in drops. It comes in injections also, and it comes in ointments. I would get the drops and I would stay on them. It's called Traumeel. If you're Taurus, it's going to help you. It's going to help so your nerves won't be so nervous. Okay. Next, Gemini is a male sign and it's an air sign. Which means mind, lots of projects, lots of thinking. There's a problem, then you think through the solution. Whereas a water sign will go, oh my God, what happened? Oh, and the air sign will go, you know what? I know what we should do. Why don't you try this? So Gemini is a male sign, an air sign, thoughts, projects. How do I see Gemini this week? I see Gemini grabbing projects and holding them to their chest. Like, okay, okay, let me hang on to this. And it has to do with the whole thing with that spaceship. Rather than leaving everything floating and let me do a little piece here and I'll deal with that tomorrow and let's see if I can finish this. No, pulling it close to the chest and going, I'm going to take care of this. That is good. So Gemini is grounding their stuff. Okay. Um, our president is Gemini. That's a good thing that he's doing. And it's also a good thing that he's a Gemini because he can handle many different things. And at this time, end times, the apocalypse, lots of changes, the collapse of many things. Somebody who is really like Taurus, that would be an Earth, it would take forever. The reaction wouldn't be quick enough. A Gemini could do it. So you really need different signs and different people for different projects depending upon their characteristics. And you cannot have a project and have everybody in the project be of the same sign or the same element, because then you are only seeing it from one point of view. Okay? On to the next. Cancer is a female sign and it is a water sign. Cancer, it makes you nervous. It being the whole thing with the spaceship, the meteorite, the whatever. It turned on the sun. No, it didn't. It's accelerating. That guy's lying. All that stuff is like, okay. So you are very grounded and you're concerned. Uh, you're okay. This is legitimate. We're supposed to be authentic. We're not supposed to be, okay, well, whenever it comes here, we'll get it figured out. That's not real. And so cancer is being very authentic. You could try the Traumeo Cancer. I would actually go to the beach a lot or go to the mountains a lot. Get the element of water and the element of earth to stay grounded. But you're really where you should be. If there's a problem, we should be concerned. That's once you start to disconnect from your emotional reaction to things, you become robots and you also become easy to control by other people. Don't forget that. Okay, going on to the next. Leo. Leo is a male sign and it's a fire sign. Leo. Um, Leo has had his fire out of control for years. In the last several weeks, Leo has been much better. So, how is Leo today? Leo's thinking, lots of thinking. Okay, so and it I'm not looking at this astrological read in relation to the spaceship headed this way. I'm looking at it in terms of the energies of the week, but that's like front and center every place. So obviously, Leo is reacting to it and Leo is thinking. Leo's very much inside their own heads and they're thinking, okay, so how do I position myself? And if if this happens, what can be the consequences and what do I need to do? Leo is being very thoughtful and very responsible in terms of trying to figure out what the proper response would be. So I would say that Leo is very thoughtful, as is appropriate. I don't see any extra fire. I don't see Leo doing what Leo did for an awful long time, which was blaming everybody else for what was going on. I don't see that with Leo. That's good because that was a habit for a while that doesn't work. You can only be master of your destiny if you accept the fact that everything god awful that happened to you was you were responsible. You either chose it to align with your mission or you made a mistake along the way. And the minute you stop blaming others and you go, what is my part in this? Or why did I need this? You're well on your way to being master of your destiny. And the day you figure it out and take care of it, if it is that you needed this problem because you weren't seeing something, the problem goes away because you no longer need it. That's the neat part. So, next sign, Virgo. Virgo is a female sign and an earth sign. They have a hard time moving, making changes. They had gotten better. Let's see where they are this week. Virgo's not happy. This whole thing with whatever it is that's going on, Virgo's not happy. It's like, okay, what's going on? And how is this going to change things? And how are we going to know what to do? It's like Virgo's like over it. Uh, Bored, not so much depressed, but is bored. Like, okay, so another problem. So I would do a mantra having to do with being bored. Even though I'm bored, I love and accept myself. And boredom usually is covering something else. My psychologist taught me that decades ago. Um, she said, that's a cloud. Push it aside. What's back there that's bothering you? So Virgo is being bothered by something, but he's not dealing with it. It's like, okay, so more problems. How do we deal with this? Okay, let's go on to the next sign. Libra is an air sign, and it's a male sign. Thoughts, projects, movement. Um, Libra is not in a good place, but Libra is being very honest and is very angry and is lashing out at the people that he would not have lashed out before. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Type comment to other people that had been walking all over Libra. So I would say that if you haven't been 100% fair with Libra, you either back off or just know that there is going to be a reaction. Libra is lashing out verbally. Libra just got out of a big black hole, and they're not going to let anybody put him back in that hole. So just know that you might need to modify your behavior, or don't be surprised at what you get from Libra, because it will be different from before. Okay? And then we have the most fascinating sign for me of all, Scorpio. Scorpio is a female sign, and it's a water sign, and water's emotions. And Scorpio are all about karma, but they're not about their own karma. They're about setting up other people so that they have to deal with their karma. What is karma? Karma is when your mind strings, which are cannabinoid receptors, which I talk about in my book on cannabis, have a glitch. And that glitch is part of your production of reality. You create your reality. So you create a life with glitches. And those glitches end up they're called karma. Oh, that's your karma. It's a glitch in the programming. So Scorpios will add fuel to the flame of your glitches so that you cannot not deal with your karma, your glitches, that injury in your mind that you've been dragging for several incarnations. So they have very correctly, they're scary because they're scary. So what do we need to know about Scorpio now? Scorpio is sitting there thinking, okay, so how do I position myself, and what is this really going to mean? And is this going to interfere with my plans? Scorpio is very thoughtful and very clear-headed at this point, having to do with a world change, because a lot of people are predicting total shift of consciousness, the world, and a lot of people feel that it has to do with this spaceship that's headed this way. We'll see soon enough. But Scorpio's just thoughtful and wondering how it's going to affect him, which is good because Scorpio used to be just about other people, even though Scorpio did not know that. And Scorpio is now taking care of themselves, which is what they should be doing. If we can all learn to take care of ourselves, we'd all be great. It's when we try to reach out and take care of others, did you notice? You're no longer centered. You can be knocked off base very easily. Okay, Sagittarius is the next sign. Sagittarius is a male sign, and it's a fire sign. Sagittarius has been victimized by who knows what for years. Now there's a shift. Let's see what's going on with Sagittarius this week. I see Sagittarius saying, okay, but I don't need to tell anybody. So Sagittarius is apparently making some kind of a decision that the other people will not be privy to. Until now, when I've seen Sagittarius, Sagittarius is doing stuff that everybody else wants him to do. And I'm not seeing that right now this week. They seem to have made some kind of a decision, but they're not going to be chatty about it. So, and if you ask, because I just checked, they're not going to share it with you. Now, the Sagittarius that usually comes up when I do my horoscopes is the dictator in Venezuela. So the fact that he's not sharing what he's going to do is probably not a big mystery and seems to be kind of normal, but he does not seem to be as victimized as he's always been until recently. And apparently, from what we picked up when we were doing some Mantrista work yesterday, he's wanted to leave Venezuela for well over a year, and his group did not allow him. And what we picked up yesterday is that he has been tortured. And then they did to him what the Vatican is trying to do to me, wipe his memory so that he wouldn't remember that. Vatican's trying to erase my memory, third eye, the whole whatever. So, but I see Sagittarius and the dictator quiet. I'm not reading the dictator. I'm reading the dictator now, but when I read for Sag, I wasn't reading the dictator. I was reading Sagittarius. Okay. Capricorn is the next sign, and Capricorn is a female sign, and it's an earth sign. And what I see is Capricorn trying to dodge an energy that's coming from off planet that's very nice. It's Nile green, the color of the heart chakra, and also the good ETs. And Capricorn is having nothing, not going to have anything to do with that. So I see Capricorn going like this and dodging the head, almost as if it would be like a green bird doing a nosedive on the Capricorn's head, and the Capricorn is not going to allow it. Capricorn, I think you need to relax. The color is good. There's no way that what I'm seeing is going to be bad for you. You're also going to injure your neck if you keep doing that. But anyway, your choice. Planet of free choice, Capricorn. Do whatever you feel is best. I know you don't like changes because you're an earth sign and you're a traditionalist. Moving on. Aquarius is a male sign and an air sign. How is Aquarius doing this week? Not Aquarius is doing really, really, really bad this week. To the point of trying to completely zone out, to the point where Aquarius is going to be dangerously close to being invaded by a spirit that's going to take over. So that's fear. So Aquarius, the mantra, morning, noon, and night. Even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. Morning, noon, and night. Okay, Aquarius? I don't know if it has to do with this spaceship or with the ending of the world as we know it, or end times or the apocalypse or something at your job. But whatever it is, it's not good. Your reaction to it is going to create much bigger problems in your life. The fear is mentioned over 350 times in the Bible because it is so damaging. And with a mantra, even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself, you can process like a vacuum cleaner that fear so that it doesn't end up having you make decisions or having you go to sleep in terms of your consciousness, which time you become a vehicle for entities to come in. So don't do that. Go to the beach a lot. Go to the mountains. Sit under trees. And get together with friends and talk about stuff that you enjoy, that you like. Do stuff that you enjoy, that you like. But stay awake, Aquarius, please. Not good. Okay, Pisces is the last sign. And Pisces is a female sign, and it's a water sign, which means emotions. Pisces, I see very much in charge. Pisces was asleep basically since birth because what astrologers say is that they just put themselves in a box. They can't handle the emotions. And I would say that that's true with the Pisces that I know. But Pisces woke up a couple months ago and decided to come out of the box and come out punching and kicking. So if you ever thought you could get away with something with Pisces, It's not going to happen any longer. And if you think Pisces is not going to notice something you did, that's not going to happen either. So you're going to have to modify your behavior, or you're just going to have to back off when it comes to Pisces, because it is not business as usual. And what I'm seeing for Pisces now has absolutely nothing to do with what's coming at the planet. It has to do with stuff that's happened until now. Okay, so that is my remote viewed horoscopes. Obviously, what's happening off planet is really affecting a lot of us. But that makes sense. It's the biggest part of revelations, may be the revelations that we're not alone in the universe. Why on earth did we ever think that we were? Why didn't the government share more? Well, the Nazis worked with the ETs. That's how they achieved such a tremendous level in technology, which Russia, the United States, and England took over when the Second World War was over. The Egyptian pyramids, the Egyptians worked with the ETs. So you can achieve a lot of power, which is why my group, I encourage, and we are going every couple of days to do our work with the spaceship, with the ETs, which we have achieved very easily because I've worked with them before and I have the power of induction. And it's becoming easy. It's not like this exotic thing. Um, there's less of a separation and more of an integration of what it is that's inevitable anyway. So, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week if you find that these were at all helpful, because that's the only reason why I do this, is for it to be helpful. And I strongly suggest you purchase my book on Amazon, Francis Fox Cannabis. Cannabis is spelled with two N's, and my Francis is spelled with an E, not an I. And I think you're going to be shocked at a lot of things there. And there's information there you're not going to find any other place. Remote viewing 3 different people smoking and using a cannabis ointment is a shocker. And as I have laughingly said to my followers, I see the mothers with the cannabis book, my book, in one hand, and the other hand, they're knocking down the door to their children's bedrooms and saying, "Open up the door. Open up the door. I need for you to start taking cannabis." The disinformation done on cannabis has been shocking, and it has all to do with controlling the human mind. The food, we were told that cannabis was the food of the devil. No, no. Remember, we were always told the food of the devil was fire. So why did they make it cannabis? Because cannabis is a female plant that puts out fire. So if you want to fight the devil, you need cannabis. If you want to be able to see the other dimensions more easily, which is where the ETs are going to be, cannabis pulls back the veils very gently. If you want to reduce violence, whether it's internal, meaning suicidal thoughts, or frustration or rage, cannabis is the easiest thing that you can do to reduce that. All that information's in the book. The most important part is not that you buy my book. The most important part is that you have accurate information about a tool that the people in power knew would give us a lot of personal power and ability to see what is happening and what's going on. And so they did a job on it decades ago, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker, me included. I'm having to threaten my followers, telling them I'm not going to be answering questions unless they read the book. Because if they don't read the book, the gap between what I know and my followers that know about cannabis and that other group, which are Hispanic, pretty conservative people, the gap is too big. So read the book, okay? Stack the deck in our favor. Do something that the deep state and the cartels and the Vatican don't want you to do, which is understand about a tool that God gave us that was basically imprisoned by a disinformation campaign that was very effective. Thank you for listening. Bye.